So a few weeks ago, I met this man. He came to my work. He came up to the counter and he started speaking, and I didn't recognize his accent. So, naturally being curious, I asked where he was from. And he said it was a long story. And then, right as he said that, the dog on site started barking at him. The fish in the pond were jumping. The squirrels came down to his feet, and they all were just surrounding him. And it was pretty strange. I could hardly believe my eyes. It was almost like a Disney movie. I thought, can this be real? So, like I said, I asked where he was from, and he looked back at me, and he said that he wasn't from Earth at all. And he said that he was from gold and iron on a planet far, far away. And I started to think maybe he's a professor, but then again, why are all these animals flocking to him? So I looked at him, in disbelief, like, wow. And so everyone around was giving strange looks. He passed me a small business card, or a small card, possibly his business card, with a photo of a planet on the front. I looked it up. I assumed that it was Mars. And he took me to the local bookstore, or he told me to go to the local bookstore to show them his card. So I pulled up after work to the front of the bookstore. It was a really old looking building. I wasn't even sure if it would still be open. But I walked in. I was carrying the business card under my jacket, kind of hiding it, because I thought, what a strange thing that I was doing. So I opened the door to the bookstore, walk in, and I see the librarian, and I pass her my card across the table, and she pauses, and she looked at me really strangely, and she said she'd be right back. So she went out to the front of the building. She flipped the sign to closed. She dimmed the lights outside so that it looked like no one was inside, and then she motioned for me to come into the back room. So I walked into the back room with her, and she was dusting old books off and looking in old dusty bins, and she came out with this box, and it was full of cloths and pieces of wood and some things that it's really even hard to describe, but they had these writings on them, and they were almost like hieroglyphic writings. It was pretty crazy. And so we started looking at them, and she had told me that these people from Egypt had come over a really long time ago to the area, and that she didn't know much else. But we started looking through the writings, and it was really strange, but we started translating them, and it was like I understood what they were saying, which is really strange to me because I'd never encountered anything like this before. And she was pretty shocked too. She was thinking, what? How can she read this? But she told me that someone had visited her before, and they told her that I guess I would be coming with a business card to show her. So also in the bin were some photos, some old photos, and it was really strange, but I recognized where the photos were taken, and it was where I work. So pictures maybe 100 years ago, and none of the buildings were there like they are now, but there's this one huge oak tree that I recognized. And so as we're translating these writings, I realized that they were saying that they had left something on the farm where I worked, and they were going to want it back. So I'm scanning through these photos, looking at them. It's hard because they're so grainy, but then there was like a picture of the earth, and it looked like it was destroyed. And so we started looking at it, and we flipped it over, and on the back side of the photo, in those hieroglyphics, it was saying that they were going to destroy the earth if they didn't get those writings back. And so Anyways, it felt like me and the librarian were there for hours, honestly. It felt like forever. So, finally, I went home, kind of like in a daze, you know, because this was so crazy and new to me, and I'm sure it was crazy for her, too. But it was a lot of information to take back, so... But I will say that the next few days, I have no recollection of what happened. I've never seen the librarian again. She's just not there, so hopefully she's all right. And there's a huge, like 20-acre hole in the farm where I work, and it's a very deep hole. So we have some people from the government over coming to take a look at what the hole could have been caused by. People are saying a meteorite, but I think I really know. I just don't know if I'll tell them yet because I don't know if anyone will believe me. So anyways, thanks for listening.